Hey, fellow agents, this is Agent Smith, and we are playing King's Quest 2. So, we've got ourselves the next gem, as well as a sugar cube. We've got the green gem and the blue gem. We're 2 steps into what we gotta do. Now, I hear bells chiming, and it's nighttime, so I think let's go check out this church, see if anything new is happening. Yep, there you go. Dude, this place is creepy. So let's see, since it's chiming, it's gotta be open now, right?
Finding the door unlocked and unbarred, you enter the church.
Spooky. The hell? Creepy.
A hideous statue of a grinning fiend forms an archway leading to the church's outdoor cemetery.
Oh.
You look over the Bible, which appears to be many decades old. You open it and find that an otherwise blank page at the front has been written on. It is dated over 20 years ago.
Huh. To all those who have heard the word, we are the chosen few, blessed by the spirit of the wild, destined for greatness, concealed by the cloth. There is but one challenge we must overcome before our future can be set in stone. The simple people of Kolyma cling still to the memory of their former ruler. Even now, years after his fate's dark turn, they retain their hope that he will not forsake them. As long as this is so, our goal cannot be attained. So, my brothers, if it is our duty to see the land cleansed of its blight, do not fear our enemy. Our faith, purpose, and power will guide us to the future we are promised. A path has been found to him, O brothers. Let him hear the warning howls. The cloth will be lifted from all time, for all time, and our songs will echo the end of him.
You return the Bible to
didn't
where
get to
you
finish
found
reading
it.
it.
You also notice that a page from the Bible has fallen onto the floor.
Jeez, gotta get dramatic. Can I please finish reading that page?
You
A path has been found to him, O brothers. Let him hear the warning howls. The cloth will be lifted for all time, and our songs will echo to the end of him, his influence, and his family. Our time is at hand. Oh.
You return the Bible to where you found it.
And a page fell down from it a moment ago, but I had to go back and read it. The page in the book.
You pick up the fallen page and read it. The words appear to have been written recently.
Gotta read faster this time.
Silently, with
Oh, never
newfound
mind.
skill, wily souls naughtily steal.
So this archway goes to the graveyard. Oh, look at that.
Rarlap Neven, 985 to 1015. The jester joked his life away until a quip he made one day. Insulted was a baron's son who had this poor old jester hung.
Huh.
Lester Williamson, 1300 to 1345. Here lies a man who feared all bugs, too scared to even lift his rugs. For if he had, he would have found insects that make little sound, with bites so deadly for their size that surely did cause his demise.
So he lifted it, I guess. What's this one?
Rebecca Twintle, 1250 to 1273. In that usual daring way of hers, she threw caution to the wind. Late one eve she risked a venture, and went out to sea with him. Totally in love she was, so filled with careless whim, that when he threw her overboard, she never thought to swim. Goulash Thompson, 1370 to 1441. Never in all his living years had he ever seen such sights. For hours did he stare at them, those beautiful, dazzling lights. So happy was he that he had been able to live to see this night. But down a cliff he blindly fell, for the lights had been too bright. It is likely that only the most devout believers have been buried in there.
Let's go take a look. After making sure I don't die.
You have
But to walk, yes. I have to walk closer, should I say?
You have about as much an inkling to enter the crypt as a fish has to walk.
Okay. Never mind. Well, I'm sure this is where we'll find the tombs that we need, but since there's nothing else I could do here for the moment, we'll go back into the church. Let us pray.
Feeling humbled, you kneel down to pray. You rise again after a few moments.
Moment one. Moment two.
The monk stirs, stands, and turns to face you.
Hello.
One is meant to speak from a pulpit, not to it.
Father,
There we go.
I go now to a place of darkness. While I am stout of heart, the path laid down before me is unclear. I seek only the knowledge that my passage be illuminated by heavenly favor, and a prayer that I may make it through.
The monk gives you a reassuring smile and pats you on the shoulder.
Oh.
He then lifts a silver cross from around his neck and places it in your hands.
Thank you.
You are welcome, my child.
You can talk?
Of course.
Why wouldn't
I
they?
thought monks were forbidden from speaking.
Not all.
Not all churches follow the same rules, and this church is quite unique.
Really?
They're all werewolves.
How so?
The monk just smiles placidly at you.
What else you gotta say, buddy?
About this crucifix.
I believe you will find the cross to be of immense value. It has come to us at a huge price.
It was expensive?
No.
I mean that it has cost us more than any value to be in possession of it.
You know
If
about
I may
money.
ask, why is it that you only open the church at dusk?
We
night
find the
church.
late hours more favorable.
Surely then
Vampires,
you would not have many in
werewolves.
your congregation.
Yes, that is true.
What do you know of the Count?
Only that he is a heathen, a
Ooh.
blasphemer. You serve God well by going there, my child. Bless you.
Going where?
The monk smiles at you, turns back to the altar, kneels, and resumes his prayers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think we should go and try and see if Grandma is still having her nightmares and check on Possum. Maybe now we can go and talk to them. It's been each time of day we've checked before, and it hasn't been
Without
able to work.
warning,
What
a
the hell?
pair of wolves dart out of the dark forest and dash towards you.
I can't do anything. Oh. See? Fucking werewolves, man.
For a minute there, you thought those wolves were going to attack. Curious as to why they didn't, you decide to follow them.
Oh, good. They didn't do it for me. Yep, I
You
knew
see
it.
the monk standing alone outside the church. Then you notice the two wolves approaching him. You are about to yell a warning to the monk, but the
He's
words
looking
die
right at
in
him.
your throat as the man steps forward and pats the wolves' heads.
Oh.
No, my brothers. We must not hurt him. Not yet.
Ooh.
He will go to the heathen's abode. He will do what needs to be done.
Who is the heathen?
What if he does not? Then, my brothers, we will complete the task before us. The one we began many years ago.
Oh man, that's creepy. I told you, werewolves. Holy crap. Or vampires? Vampwolves?
You quickly move away from the church, your heart racing faster with every step. You have a good idea now what will happen once the moon comes out in full, and you do not want to be anywhere near here when it does.
I'll say. That he just looked at the screen. That
One
was
thing's for
creepy too.
sure, you're not getting married in that church.
That's what I'm saying. That is creepy. So they're werewolves there is what it is. Alright, let's go ahead and head to Possum's house. Everything is so dark and creepy, I tell you. Well, it looks like they got smoke from the stacks. There's definitely people home this time. Let's go ahead and say hello. See how they're doing.
Oh, sir, have you seen my little granddaughter?
She's not
She
here.
ventured to the town to buy food for me, but has not yet returned. I fear she may be in peril. The forest is not safe at night.
No, it's definitely nothing safe at night. Okay. Oh, they just kicked me right on out. Alright, well, we'll go down this way to get onto the path, and we'll go ahead and walk on. head back to town. If she's on the way to town, she should be on here somewhere, right?
You hear the sound of a child sobbing nearby.
Okay. Into the woods. There she is.
As you approach, you recognize the child. It is Possum, the little girl you helped earlier today. You see the little girl crying. What could have happened, and why is she out so late at night?
Well, something must have happened when she was trying to get her food.
Are you all right? What happened?
I will kill him.
I went into town to buy some chicken soup for my grandma. I always try to reach
Oh,
her.
her voice
before
makes me
dark.
laugh.
But this eve, I lost my way and was attacked.
Attacked? A wolf attacked you?
No.
No, not by a wolf, a dwarf.
For a moment, you're not sure that you heard correctly.
Dwarf, huh?
A dwarf, did you say?
Uh-huh. He jumped out at me, took my food, and then ran away.
That sounds about right. That guy's a dick.
Listen,
If it's the
I'm
same one
going to
that I
try
see
to
all the
find
time in
this
this game.
dwarf that you say stole
these
your
games.
food. You get back to your grandma, understand?
Possum nods, says a soft thank you, and heads back home.
Thank you. All right, girl. Possum is like Red Riding Hood, sort of. All right, I think that based on all of this stuff and the fact that he's been around this general area, I think it's that treehouse that we had seen out this way, which is somewhere along here. I'm just don't remembering exactly where. We'll keep winding it. It's not that way. That's the way to the bridge. We'll wind our way around and we'll see. I know it's in these woods. Here we go.
You watch as a little man runs out of the door, which has been built into a tree. You
Knew
surmise
it
that
was
you have
his.
found the culprit's home. The vague aroma of chicken soup confirms it. That fiend.
Douchebag. Let's quickly go inside. Get that chicken soup. No, go inside. No, go.
What is this?
Go inside. Oh my goodness. Then when they tell me to walk in there instead of hitting the door.
Finding the door ajar, you cautiously open it and step inside the tree.
You just pick up the jar. Bad jokes. Yes. Oh, I'm saving though.
That's not a knife. The knife you found under a rock one time? Now that was a knife.
Stupid.
You grab the handle of the bubbling pot of chicken soup. You take it with you.
My chicken soup. Let's see if he's got any treasures. We'll take his stuff too. Make his life suck.
Upon opening the trunk, you find a number of items that the dwarf has obviously stolen and stashed away. Among them are some gold coins. They display the distinctive face of the first king. They could only have come from the magic chest of Daventry.
See, he's the same dwarf from before. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Before he comes back anyway. Then we need to get out there and take this to Possum's grandmother. I think it said I hear him coming, possibly. There we go. This is the path straight to her house. I know the cut tree. And to the grandmother. Give her some nice warm soup. Oh, she's in bed.
Welcome. Come in, please. Possum told me to expect you.
Grandma looks too weak to talk at length. Perhaps there's a way to make her feel better.
Ah, the soup.
The pot contains chicken soup. However, it has gone cold in the night air.
Well, let's heat this stuff up. I got a fire in here too. There you go.
You place the now cold chicken soup over the crackling fire once more. After it heats up to eating temperature, you remove it again.
There you go. And we're gonna wait for it to heat up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's feed this to her.
You offer the soup to Possum's grandma, introduce yourself, and wait courteously while the frail elderly lady eats the nourishing meal. When she is finished,
music in
she
here's
sets
loud.
the empty bowl down elsewhere and turns her attention towards you.
Oh, let's speak, lady. Tell me what you know.
If you would like to speak with me for a while, I would welcome your company. A person should never turn away a visitor, especially when she reaches the twilight of her life.
You can't help but feel a sense of finality in the old woman's words.
Yeah, she knows she's
You
gonna
must
die.
have something in return for your kindness. You do not need to risk your safety for an old, worn-out woman like myself.
Why
Look
not?
under the bed. You should find something to keep you a little warmer on a cold night like this.
It is a simple...
Put my hand under. Okay. Said look.
You peer under the bed
Oh.
and find a thick black cloak.
Ah.
Lying atop it is a beautiful ruby-encrusted ring. You pick both up with reverence.
She said warm, so I'm checking she
I could
means the
not
cloak.
possibly take these fine things from you.
Oh, please. I want you to have them. Nights in Kolyma are cold, believe me. As for the ring... well, perhaps it is better that I do not have it to remind me.
As you wish.
What are they for?
The ring is gold with an enormous red ruby. The word beloved is engraved inside the gold band.
Hand me down wedding
The
ring.
black cloak would fit a taller man than you.
We'll make it work, though. What else you got for me, lady?
You have a charming young granddaughter.
Grandma smiles at you graciously.
She is a treasure to me. I would do anything to ensure that no harm comes to her.
If I may inquire, what became of her parents?
Yeah.
Grandma frowns, and her eyes darken for a moment before she forces a melancholy smile to her face.
They were lost to us many years ago.
She's the
I am
king now.
afraid dear Possum never really knew her parents.
It must have been a daunting
I'm the king
task
now.
raising a child by yourself. Especially at your...
At my age? I am certainly not as young as I used to be, and there is no shame in that. I have tried to raise her as best I could, to keep her safe and well. However,
She
I
must be a little
fear
German.
that as of late the reverse has become truer.
If you please, I was hoping you might tell me of the cloak and ring's origin.
Yeah, what are
The
they
old
for?
woman closes her eyes as if the memory she seeks is painful to her senses.
They were my husband's. He was a proud man, the last of his line. His family had been rich, a great deal of old money, you might say. They lived in that castle you might have seen to the north. Its location upon
Huh.
that island is evidence of how much they valued their
Not
privacy.
really, but
He was a
I'm
good
trying to get to a
man,
place
my
like that.
husband. He took care of me. Certainly he had his strange habits. Most men do, if you would pardon me for saying so. I suspect that he practiced magic, so I could never catch him in the act.
I
He
bet.
would frequently journey afar, taking that black cloak with him wherever he went, to places he would not talk about. He said that it represented something important to a certain group of people, and that I was never to mention it to anyone. But he was always there
So,
for
some
me,
type of
always,
intrigue,
until
like
that
cloak.
fateful night.
Uh-oh. Getting creepy.
We had been married just over a year, and I was heavy with child. We were both out walking in the weirwood forest late one night. The air was warm, and in our youth we paid little attention to the world and its many dangers. Besides, there was a full moon. We could see clearly enough.
Yep.
A
Church.
shadow
Oh, it's
passed
Pat.
over
It's
us.
weird. They are
We looked
vampires.
up,
I was wrong. I thought it was
thinking might
werewolves.
have been a stray cloud. It was not. Descending upon us like a demon was the largest, most hideous bat I had ever seen.
It was bald
Its
and wore a
fangs
monk's
were
robe.
bared, and it dove straight for me. I must have screamed. My husband flung himself in front of me to protect me. He swung his arms about frantically in hopes of warding the horrid thing away. Perhaps he was trying to cast a spell, but could not recall how in his panic. It paid him no heed and would not be deterred. It swooped again and again relentlessly. At one point, my husband's
he's a
hand must
vampire.
have clipped the bat's wing because it lost control and crashed into his shoulder. He tried to wrest the foul creature away, but then he shrieked suddenly. The horrid thing had bitten him.
He lies.
He
in the
never did
graveyard.
recover from that incident. He just faded with each passing hour. Within 2 days of the attack, my husband had died. We buried him on his family's plantation on the island.
Ah. The graveyard and the church is nowhere near where I'd like to be.
Sometimes when I sleep, I can
North
feel
would be
him
the swamp,
watching
so that means we
over
need to
me,
go check out the swamp then.
guarding me, protecting me. I think he is waiting for my time to come so we can be together always.
The old lady seems to be dozing off. You can barely hear her final words.
I miss him so.
Telling the
Sounded
story
pretty
has
clear to
clearly
me.
taken a great deal out of her. You watch the old woman a moment and notice her labored breathing as she sleeps. Despite the little girl's tireless daily efforts, perhaps there's nothing more to be done.
Yeah.
The elderly lady has fallen asleep. You have no desire to wake her. The little girl is sound asleep. Do not wake her.
Alright, well then. Let's go ahead and get out of here, because this place is loud. Meanwhile... God,
Sister
let's just keep
Agatha,
going.
my dear.
It was a long
Tell
one.
me
Sorry,
you have
guys.
good news.
The king has arrived in Kolyma, father.
That is not what I meant.
Yes.
You were supposed to tell me you were getting surgery for that dick nose.
Resourceful. It seems his reputation was not totally exaggerated.
He's still alive?
Yeah, so far.
Now, but that will change soon, I think. The king
Well, are you
has
gonna
discovered
try?
that one of the gems he seeks is in the possession of a colleague of ours. Do
Colleague?
you remember? Caldor.
Yes. Is he still trustworthy?
There's a
Totally.
vampire.
Still sharp, and there's no questioning his loyalty. My humblest apologies, father, but would it not have been simpler for you to have dealt with Graham personally?
Fool! Imagine the ensuing chaos where Daventry's king murdered in his own land. How then would I be able to search for the item?
I see.
Failure is not
True.
an option.
Understood, father.
Keep me informed, preferably of good King Graham's death.
If you can. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. I hope that you guys are enjoying this. If you are, give it a thumbs up. That one was a little bit longer than I usually do them. And yeah, in the next one, we're going to go ahead and try to head north. I think that we have the items that we need to get safely to the swamp. And I think that's where we got to be next. So, that's the way I'm going to probably be headed. And they said north of the castle. I don't recall seeing any of the castles north of kind of the town. But either way, hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Hey, fellow agents. Don't forget to like and subscribe by clicking the button in the center of the screen. You can also find the last video by clicking the button to the left. And you can take a look at some of the other stuff I've done by clicking the button to the right. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.